Atlanta United FC has been making waves with its brand new state-of-the-art stadium, its record-breaking attendance, and its smooth playing style thanks to its South American talent. But for the Big Peach, the 9th largest metropolitan area in the United States, soccer has not come easy. This kind of hype didn't come overnight, but instead through a long history of teams in Atlanta starting in the late 1960s.
Very little soccer mentioned in the Atlanta Journal and the Atlanta Constitution from about 1930 until 1966, when everything started with the Chiefs coming to town.
Atlanta acquired a new soccer franchise, the Atlanta Chiefs, through the newly created North American Soccer League, and its 1968 inaugural season was epic.
The first time the Atlanta Chiefs played Detroit, it was 107 minutes of cardiac soccer. Bach gets a foot on it, shot saved, alarm!
They won the 1968 NASL championship, and they beat Manchester City twice. But then the bottom of the league fell out, and that's when soccer started on a slow decline in Atlanta because the league went from 20 teams to 5.
But the spirit of the team never left, and instead went through several name changes and revitalizations, including the Atlanta Apollos, Atlanta Chiefs once again, Georgia Generals, Atlanta Attack, Atlanta Ruckus, and finally in 1998, the Atlanta Silverbacks in honor of Willie B., a silverback gorilla who was the star attraction at Zoo Atlanta. Despite the new ownership groups and coaches, the Silverbacks continued to struggle. Apart from a third-round appearance in the U.S. Open Cup, the Silverbacks failed to make it to the playoffs from 1996 through 2006. But through all its triumphs and turmoils, the continued existence of soccer clubs in Atlanta gave way to the critical birth of its future, the supporters groups. Born out of an ATL Wants MLS petition campaign launched in 2011, Terminus Legion set out to support soccer in Atlanta at all levels. A new buzz was created after the club appointed U.S. men's national team legend Eric Winalda as technical director.
Really kind of got things in the right direction because Eric's one of the smartest soccer minds that I've ever met. He can spot the diamond in the rough that everybody else misses. And that's what he ended up doing with that 2012 second half into 2013 and taking them to Soccer Bowl, winning the first half of the NASL season that year, and in hosting the Cosmos in the championship.
Although the Silverbacks lost 1-0, Atlanta's sellout crowd of almost 7,500 nearly overflowed Silverbacks Park. But despite almost a decade of existence, the lure of MLS proved too strong for some Atlanteans to ignore. With the announcement of Atlanta United in 2016 and the arrival of the club in 2017, the Silverbacks faced mounting financial stress, and in early 2016, the NASL announced they would stop operating the Atlanta Silverbacks.
It just didn't happen for the club after 15, and the NASL said, we're not going to fund you, so they essentially went on hiatus from NASL.
The club has since dropped down to the 4th division, the National Premier Soccer League. Meanwhile, the Terminus Legion supporters group continued in its commitment to support Atlanta soccer at all levels and became the first official supporter groups for MLS's Atlanta United FC.
As much as the Ruckus and then the Silverbacks and the different permutations the Silverbacks did, they were never resourced properly to compete at a second division level, let alone make the jump up.
The experience is incredible. It's totally different from anything I ever saw with the Silverbacks. Completely not what I expected at all.
Atlanta United's on-field success has also helped nurture in more fans and supporters.
I think a big part of the success that we've had so far has become a part of the success on the field, breaking the MLS attendance record for the second time this season. And, we're an expansion team, which would have been unthinkable 2 years ago. It was just incredible from day one, and it never stopped.
And the supporters groups have been invaluable.
Honestly, a lot of credit has to go to these supporters groups because they set up so much before the first game. Atlanta's very much a city on the rise and full of young people. They saw this as an opportunity to make something their own. I think Atlanta is kind of the start of MLS 3.0.
Atlanta's success has set a high bar for the future of soccer in MLS.
I think what MLS 4.0 is going to look like is teams coming in from day one that are ready to make the playoffs. Teams coming in from day one that are ready to challenge for MLS Cup. A lot like what LAFC is doing. Making a big brand, coming in with a player who's, not aging, not about to retire, a guy in their prime. They signed Carlos Vela. They're coming in with a guy who is ready to contribute from day one, and I'm very excited for it because the more competitive this league gets, the better it's going to make American soccer and the better, the landscape of this country's, future.